So we got the oven on. It's set to 425 degrees. It's still heating up. We're gonna move into turkey balls. These are so good. This recipe I got from HelloFresh. We're gonna change it up just a little bit. We're gonna use scallions and we're gonna use fresh ginger. Obviously, you can use dried ingredients because, like, you know, from your from your seasoning cabinet, because they'll just fluff up with the moisture. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab those from the fridge. All right, they're a little droopy. It's okay. All right, I like to mix things in shallow bowls so that it's easier to get things done. And girls, if you've got nails, just go ahead and get yourself some food service gloves. Just like this. Do you like how fast we're going? We're only 6 minutes in. Ready, set, go. Okay, I'm actually gonna pull the trash can because you don't need to make a mess everywhere. I've got a wonderful knife to show you the goods over here. We're gonna use a grater for the ginger. And this is kind of like an Asian cuisine recipe. And so instead of soy sauce, we're gonna use the amino acids. You know, taking care of yourself is so good. I used to be like not confident in the kitchen at all. And like one time when I was married, I don't know why I did this, but okay, so I'm just cutting it diagonally. And we're gonna toss this in. Oh, it's still a little frozen. That's gonna be really cold on the fingers, let me tell you. Okay, so I don't wanna put raw poultry on the cutting board. You wanna really keep your poultry blood to hard surfaces that you can clean with Clorox or something similar. This is 2 1.7 pound servings of turkey. And this is gonna last a pretty long while. And I actually meant to chop up my other stuff first, which is why I pulled the cutting board out. So this is just condensation from the outside of the package, so that's okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is chop up the white part of the onions. We're not even gonna use the green part, who cares? So we're just gonna give them a quick rinse. A little shaky, shaky, shaky. Oh, watch out. Okay, so we're gonna cut off the roots, get rid of those. See how convenient that is? So good. So when you're cutting, you kind of have this little like seesaw. You know what it feels like to me? It's kind of like when you go to the carnival and it's the ride that is the pirate ship that goes. That's kind of the leverage that you want to have more towards the tip of the blade to get it done really quickly. So we're just going to toss those. Oops. And then I'm going to give it a quick chop. So I'm putting pressure with my left hand to leverage it. And then the cutting is really kind of happening down here closer to this hand. Like that's really where the power is coming in. You guys, this is so good. When I recently decided that I understood the mechanics of the body, like when I hit a new layer of it, and I was like, wait a minute, I know anything wrong in our body is separation consciousness. Therefore, I don't have inflammation anymore. I decided to order from HelloFresh so that I could get new recipes, because mostly for the last 3 years, I've been eating the same food, which is just like different seasoned squash and root vegetables and certain grains. So I've been experimenting with recipes and it's very exciting. If you want to peel some of this off, you can. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So we're just gonna give it a quick peel. This is fresh ginger. If you have a Costco near you, they might actually have like a huge container of it. And this is really good to mince ginger or like use the cheese grater, which I'm going to show you, and put it in tea at night. If you have ginger tea at night, it's going to help you sleep better because it's going to aid in digestion. And then you can put even more ginger into it if you have it fresh. So, okay. So I shaved off about that much. And then what I'm going to do is use a cheese grater, and we are going to grate it right into our mixing bowl. This is so, so good. I don't really look at the quantities of stuff. I just kind of like think, okay, that's probably enough. So as you can see, I just used like 2 little prongs of it and just 1 little bunch of onion. And then I'm gonna put in enough soy sauce to just kind of like lube it up a little bit so it mixes. Okay. So what I was saying is that when I was married, this is like how like uncomfortable I was in the kitchen. We had leftovers tikka masala chicken. And for whatever reason, I was like really excited to cook dinner the next day. I rinsed the tikka masala dressing off of it to change the flavor. Like, who does that? And I don't even know why I did that. And it was at a time where there was this grocery store. It's out of business now. I don't remember what, Fresh and Easy, where they have a lot of like made for you meals. And so look at all that ginger. I had just heated those. I didn't even prepare them, right? I just heated them. And then by the time we got to dinner, he was like, is this the tikka masala? And I was like, yeah. He's like, what did you do? I go, I rinsed it. He's like, you rinsed it? So then I was mortified that the food that we were eating was food that he actually cooked that I rinsed, and then all I did was heat side dishes. So I have not been that comfortable in the kitchen. So here we have it. And we're gonna put in about that much, right? Just to get it wet. Just to get it wet. And liquid aminos is pretty salty, so I'm not gonna salt the turkey. And we have our potatoes boiling. And everyone, we are at 13 minutes and 40 seconds right now. So fast. And because we're using the oven for multiple reasons, it's gonna go really quick. Yes, so good. You know I'm gonna salt the shit out of the sweet potatoes though, because that's gonna be so good when it's time to eat. Oh my God, it's gonna be like, I mean, you know what a sweet potato fry tastes like. The salt is just gonna make it next level. Oh, let me get this sheet, the baking sheet. So you can totally use the air fryer to make your meatballs, and I do that a lot of the time, but because I'm cooking multiple things and I'm showing you how to do a bulk meal prep, we are gonna bake them just to be better efficient with our time. And then we're gonna be careful not to overcook these potatoes, so I'm probably gonna let them go for like 3 more minutes, and then we will take them out, cut them up, and then we will bake them. So I'm like putting salmonella on my tripod. Awesome. So here we got our mix. Oh my God, don't leave the ginger. So freaking good. Okay, so then we're gonna be squishy. So I think by the time I'm done mixing this is when I'm gonna check the potatoes. The food gloves, oh my gosh, they are like next level. So I measure most of my food after it's cooked. I have done things where I've measured with it raw, and there's something to say about being super accurate, but none of us are getting on a stage. So we don't have to be like super duper accurate because we're not using our body for like a bikini competition or a figure competition where we're really working scientifically with the body. So it's gonna be okay for things to be slightly off. So we're not gonna worry about measuring anything. If you've seen my more detailed system of macros, Living the Dream, that product that I made, that course, you'll see it's like very meticulous. But that's also when I was figuring out my inflammation issues. So this is still really hard. Yeah. So when I was dealing with inflammation, there was such a limited list of food that I could eat. And then to do macros on top of that, it was really hard because, okay, I lowered it down to medium. So we're going to give it like another 5 minutes. It's 11:35 right now. I was really meticulous with how I was doing macros when I was really strict with my anti-inflammatory foods, because it was such a limited quality or quantity of food, and I was eating so much squash because it was high volume and not carb dense. So like a root vegetable is on my list to eat, but like if I were to eat sweet potato at every meal, I would have like already maxed out my carbs like 2 meals in. So I was being very, very meticulous to stretch my food out as much as I can. This is going to be, you don't have to do that, but I'm just kind of sharing with you the history of my stuff, especially if you've looked at my other courses. Okay, so I'm going to get some stuff to put on the pan. This is ghee, and it's from grass-fed cows. And you literally can taste the grass. Like, it's so good. It kind of has a nutty flavor to it. Now, I'm not going to add a lot. That's it, okay? And so we're just going to smear it on. And a lot of this happens by the flick of your wrist is how you get things to spread. I'm going to do a little bit more. So here's how much more I'm doing. And like I said, like, we're not counting the macros that we do with this because a lot of it's going to cook off and it's going to make a micro measurement. Okay, let's do that one. I'll just put it on the trash can. And let's do this one. Okay. So that's probably what I ended up with when I did it twice. Hey, Bubba, would you like this? It would be amazing, huh? You can't have any. Oh, don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing. Oh my God, you can even like smell the ghee right now. So good. You know, it adds a lot of flavor, so you really feel like you're eating the earth. Like, you really feel like you're in nature. And then also, it just adds so much. Oh, just adds so much. Okay, so I'm going to put my gloves back on. And I'm just going to eyeball the turkey, because when it comes down to it, when it's time to do your macros for the day, when you're eating, you're gonna be cutting these so that you can get as much out of it, so that you can get the right amount in that meal. And so this is really just kind of like an extremely convenient way to cook so that you have food on hand. So this is almost like, instead of like you would have like stuff in your cabinet on stock, this is like having protein on stock. This is really super sticky. So I think what I'm going to do is, I just have a teaspoon, and yeah, I'm just going to plop it on and not try to roll it around. I think if I put like panko crumbs in it or something, like some sort of a bread product, I think it would be less sticky. But since we are doing macros and we would rather not add carbs when we don't, we want to add carbs to where you can enjoy them. And so sometimes you don't want to add bread products as a filler, because then it takes away from the eating experience. And girl, when you're on a reverse diet, which I will explain in a second, you want to enjoy your food as much as possible. Okay, I feel like I should stab the potatoes. Still not done. I just want to, I want the fork to go in a little bit, just so that it's easy for me to cut them, to put them in the, to make them a fry shape. Okay, we got one more. My God, this is so good. So good. Last one. So look at it. It's almost like a pound of turkey. on each sheet. And remember, we're not going to be anal retentive about it. We're just doing this for eating, measuring, cooking, convenience, and pleasure. Okay, you ready? We're gonna check on the potatoes real quick. We just want them to be soft enough to cut into. I'm gonna turn it off and just leave them there for a second. Turkey tray number 1, all good. Turkey tray number 2, 13 minutes. So exciting. So are you watching? Do you see how much food we already have made? This is amazing. Oh yeah. And remember, we're not gonna clean the pan. So it's just gonna add that much more flavor. You see how excited I am? Let's just scrape them off. Oops. Don't melt the plastic. Toss them in. So good. Yes, with the turkey. Oh, so good. Oh my God, just like look at like how it's like has that like edge on it. It's gonna taste so good. So it's like crispy on the edge, soft on the inside. And because we had nearly 4 pounds of turkey, and I don't know, like a quarter cup of amino acids, it's not that much of the soy sauce flavor, but the ginger and the onion is kind of like you're eating Chinese food. It's so good, right? So good.